I wish all of you a very pleasant Wednesday. Once again, we were offline for a while because of some maintenance regarding our information technology system here at St. Patrick's. And so, consequently, I apologize for being away from all of you because it is important for us to connect, especially during the time that we come to know as this pandemic, this global health crisis. It is important that we connect and stay connected because that is one of the ways that we do find ourselves present to one another, and maybe too the way that we lift up one another in prayer. We are never alone. Yes, God is present to us, but as a community of believers, as a community of faith, we are present to one another. If we really pay attention to this whole set of readings that we hear this week from the letter of St. Paul to the Philippians, we find that Paul really cherished and treasured the church in Philippi. He loved the Philippians with great affection, and in that he speaks very highly of them. But throughout this past week, what we have heard more than anything else is that God is everlasting and that God is close to us in every way. But what Paul invites the Philippians to do as they walk through different challenges in their life, that they always find that it is God who encourages them and God who calls each and every one of them to courage and therefore love one another. As we seek to be courageous and to love one another, we are cheerleaders to and for one another. To live the life of the disciple is very difficult. It is challenging, especially when we find in a world that is somewhat broken and somewhat wounded, a world that is divided. Yet that is when we need the community more than ever. We need to come to the liturgy if we possibly can during this pandemic, this global health crisis, and to hear the word proclaimed and to receive the Eucharist, but to be with one another as well. We find our strength comes from God, and we find that our strength comes from the community of believers, the community of faith. We encourage one another. We root for one another. We invite each and every person to hang in there, to persevere even when we find ourselves in a very perverse generation. Let us again come to know that we must not only take care of ourselves, we must take care of one another. We do so by encouraging one another, supporting one another, especially through these very difficult times. For we believe and we trust that as we entrust all of our cares to the Lord, that God will take care of us because He cares for us with a love that is beyond all telling. As we walk into the remaining days of this week, a very challenging week because of our national elections and what have you, but still a week of opportunity for us to once again assert ourselves as followers of Jesus, to assert ourselves as members of a church, eager to serve God, eager to serve one another. May God bless you and keep you, and we will see you tomorrow.